Maxim: who comes to equity must come with clean hands. The person who is seeking relief must not himself guilty of illegal or immoral conduct against defendant in order to take revenge by his own hands, because plaintiff's such conduct may disentitle him to receive any assistance from the court. The court of equity will take this conduct into consideration, the personal conduct of the plaintiff in dispute, without the help of court. In this case, court will refuse to grant him relief. Definition of clean hands. The clean hands doctrine is a rule of law that someone files a case for equitable relief in the court of law, he must be free from unfair conduct relating to the subject matter of his claim. Because it is a favorable defense for the defendant who can claim that the plaintiff has unclean hands. Basis of maxim. This idea is expressed in the Latin maxim, ex turpi casua non oritur acti action, which means that no cause of action arises from a base cause. In other words, we can say that, for an illegal cause, there can be no lawsuit. There are 4 basic principles on which this maxim is based. Following are these principles. 1. Immoral consideration. This is the principle that an action cannot be found on an immoral basis. 2. Fraud. It is a second principle that a right of action cannot arise out of fraud. That is to say, he must be clear of any participation in fraud or deception. 3. His own wrong. The third basic principle on which this maxim is based is that a person cannot take advantage of his own mistakes. 4. His own inequity. The fourth basic principle is that a person cannot base his action on his own inequity. That is to say, he must be clear of any participation in any deceitful action or similar inequitable conduct. Dalip Singh v. State of U.P. Another important and one of the most cited, used landmark case is Dalip Singh v. State of U.P. 13. The division bench of the Supreme Court, comprising Honorable Justices J.J., G.S. Singhvi and A.K. Ganguly, delivered a verdict that just glorified the importance of this doctrine. This judgment in the case of appeal under Articles 136, 226 and 32 sent out a very strong message to the society. The appellant had filed an appeal in the seeking the relief over orders passed by the authorities of state of Uttar Pradesh. The court did not even care to examine the merits of the case, and instead slammed the appellant over the act of misleading the authority and the court. The apex court just declared that the necessity of deciding on merit does not arise when the applicant appellant has not approached the court with clean hands. The court called the type of litigators who manipulate the truth or approach the court with unclean hands as shameless litigators. It was criticized that people who try to pollute the stream of justice or touch the stream of justice with tainted hands are not entitled to any relief, interim or final.